Florida Man, The Legend of Manuel Don Flores. The birth of a Florida icon. Manuel Don Flores was born under the scorching sun of Winter Haven, Florida, sometime in the late 1980s, though his exact birth date is unknown, much like the origins of the man himself. His parents were Cuban-American citrus farmers, deeply embedded in Florida's agricultural heartland. From an early age, Manuel had an intense love for all things Florida, the swamps, the beaches, the neon-lit chaos of Miami, the sleepy charm of the Panhandle, and everything in between. His childhood was filled with misadventures, wrestling gators before he could walk properly, sneaking into Orlando theme parks without a ticket, and learning how to mix the perfect margarita at the age of 12. He was raised on a steady diet of key lime pie, conch fritters, and the collected works of Jimmy Buffett. His uncle, a former pirate radio DJ in the Keys, introduced him to classic rock, country, and calypso, which shaped his laid-back yet rebellious worldview. Manuel never quite fit in with traditional school life. He was too restless, too adventurous, too much of a free spirit. Instead of college, he pursued an education in the University of Life, doing odd jobs all across the state, deep-sea fishing in the Gulf, airboat guiding in the Everglades, roofing during hurricane season, and even a brief, failed stint as a Florida Highway Patrol officer. He had trouble with proper procedure. But the day his destiny truly changed was the day he met Methuselah, the bond between man and gator. While working as a handyman at an alligator sanctuary near Lake Okeechobee, Manuel discovered a massive, battle-scarred gator who had been marked for euthanasia due to aggressive behavior. Something in the gator's ancient, knowing eyes spoke to him. This wasn't just a gator, this was a relic of the past, a piece of Florida itself, too stubborn to die. That night, under a full moon, Manuel freed the gator, leading him into the swamp and vowing to protect him like a brother. He named him Methuselah, after the oldest tree in the world, because he was convinced this particular gator had seen Ponce de Leon land on Florida's shores. Since that night, Methuselah has been his loyal companion, bodyguard, and occasional getaway vehicle. A new calling, defender of the Sunshine State. At some point, Manuel realized he couldn't just live for himself, Florida needed him. His beloved state was under constant assault, by corrupt politicians trying to turn every inch of beach into a luxury condo, by snowbirds clogging up the highways, by spring breakers disrespecting the sanctity of Florida's wild spirit, and by criminals who thought they could take advantage of the good, hard-working people of the state. And so, Florida Man was born. A hero who operates by his own rules. A vigilante, outlaw, saint, and sometimes public nuisance. Armed with nothing but his wits, questionable, his fists, lethal, his airboat, dubbed the Gator Chaser, and Methuselah, self-explanatory, Florida Man travels from city to city, swamp to swamp, beach to beach, righting wrongs and bringing chaos to those who deserve it. He has no set base of operations. Some say he lives in a hammock strung between two palm trees in the Keys, others claim he has a secret hideout in a half-sunken shrimp boat off the coast of Apalachicola. But wherever injustice dares rear its ugly head in Florida, one thing is certain: Florida Man will be there. His causes and convictions. Florida Man is a man of deeply held, sometimes questionable, beliefs. The Panhandle should be extended to its pre-statehood size. In fact, Florida should push westward into Alabama just to claim more coastline. Cuba should be annexed, because it's culturally Florida already. The best Cuban sandwiches aren't even in Cuba, they're in Tampa. The Bahamas should also be annexed, because, in his words, they just feel Florida, you know. A Miami-Havana channel must be built, allowing people to drive from South Beach straight to the heart of Havana without a ferry. Jimmy Buffett should be canonized as a saint, and Margaritaville should replace the state anthem. Methuselah deserves more respect than most politicians. Enemies of Florida Man. While many love him, Florida Man has made powerful enemies. The Hoa Cartel, a secretive organization that tries to keep Florida respectable by outlawing boat parking in front yards and banning pink flamingo lawn ornaments. Florida Man has been in an ongoing war with them for years. Spring break syndicates. While Florida Man respects a good party, He won't tolerate reckless destruction of his beaches. Frat brothers and Instagram influencers beware. Overzealous developers, the people who keep turning old Florida landmarks into parking lots for Starbucks. They are the bane of his existence. State officials, he is constantly wanted for public disturbances and exotic animal-related incidents, but Florida police often turn a blind eye because deep down, they know Florida Man is doing the Lord's work. His legend grows. Stories of Florida Man spread like wildfire, often making headlines. Florida Man jet skis across I-95 during hurricane, says he was testing the waters. Florida Man wrestles Methuselah away from animal control, wins court case for gator custody. Florida Man sets up toll booth on I-4, claims state wasn't charging enough. Florida Man declares Key West an independent nation, issues Conch-Republic passports. Florida Man smuggles oranges to Georgia in defiance of citrus tax, calls himself a modern-day smuggler's blues. Where is Florida Man now? Nobody knows for sure. Maybe he's cruising the Everglades, drinking a rum runner in Key Largo, or plotting the next great Florida scheme. But one thing is certain, wherever Florida needs him, whether it's stopping corrupt condo developers in Miami, fighting gator poachers in the Everglades, or teaching tourists how to properly eat a Publix sub, Florida Man and Methuselah will be there.